was going to show three products in this, but none of this stuff is promoted by me. I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. Three products specifically. I've talked about this one before and another one that I've been using now for nearly 2 years. I have five of these. This is an unopened one. I use these down at my cabin, and I also hang one of these over my bed. And it's one of the most fascinating little devices ever. And it actually has a touch screen on the front. There's a little cable back here. I can actually plug this. It has a USB 2 here, and the back is the plug that plugs into the head. I've shown this before in videos. It has many different power modes. You can actually touch it to tap it on or touch it to tap it off. If you hold it down, it'll actually increase in brightness and decrease in brightness. I think there's 13 little LEDs on this. I've got 5 of these. Really low power consumption device. I actually have never seen, and of course you do need to plug this into something, so portability versus a super tiny pen LED. But if you have a power supply, either in your vehicle or in your house, then it's not an issue. Obviously, there are contained units that are less cumbersome than this, since there is a cable to attach on this. But really low power consumption. I love these. They're really cheap. I think current price on these is something like 14 bucks. You can actually go to. They don't have an enormous amount of products, but it's on Voltaic's website. You can go to voltaicsystems.com. I get no compensation for this whatsoever. I actually personally stand behind this low power consumption light. Like I said, the little plug attaches back there. I need to press it in harder. There we go. And here it is. You can suspend this over your bed for reading. You can have an enormous amount of light all night long without drawing an enormous amount of power, especially in an emergency. You do need, of course, a power source with the USB connector. There's small little 2 amp hour lithium packs, whatnot. I actually use these in my cabin with my Ocmo power supply. I stand by these. Actually, I've mentioned these now for well over a year. I'd like to talk about those in just a second. Everybody that's bought one absolutely loves it, but these are incredibly cheap. They might be off sale now, which I think off sale is like 13 bucks or something like that. Go to voltaicsystems.com or type in Voltaic, and I'll take you directly to the website. It's the USB powered LED light right there. And here's something I've been using now for over 2 years in my cabin. These are meant to be work lights, and I use them in a unique fashion. This is the DeWalt's really high-powered LED system. This will draw some power. They use, of course, DeWalt battery packs back here. What I actually do is put these on light stands in my cabin, and I just bought this one as an addition. This is the model designation DCL077. These are on sale at 100 bucks. If they're not on sale, they're right at $120. I actually have an attachment down here for inserting in a light stand, and what I actually do is I use photographic umbrellas, which you see in there. They're like umbrellas that have silver or white surfaces, and I actually put the umbrella out in front of it. It actually has a tilting head right here, and that umbrella reflects the light, and it fills up the whole room with really nice light. It actually has 3 power settings. High, medium, low, and the last push is to turn it off. This is, I love these things. I picked these for my cabin's illumination, since there's no power or, there's no electric, there's no water, no plumbing. It's very in the deep, deep woods kind of cabin. And I love these DeWalt lights. And perfect for an emergency. Now, like I said, they do take and I have 24 big DeWalt batteries. Of course, DeWalt makes them in 1 amp hour, 2 amp hour is the smallest, 3 amp hour, 4 amp hour, and then there's the big, they call them FlexVolts, which are the big honker batteries, which are quite expensive. And you can, since I've been using these now for over 2 years, even at full power off one of the 6 amp hour batteries, not even the larger FlexVolts, I could go all night long with it, but I use it sparingly. But I also, too, have solar panels outside, which recharges my Ocmo power station. I have 2 Ocmo power stations. I have the one that is the 2000 watts. This is roughly about 70 amp hours. This uses hybrid lithium cells, the same sort of lithium magnesium cells that are used in Tesla cars and other electric cars. Oh, here we go. It's not that heavy, actually. It's just that I'm all fat and tattoo ink. And anyway, I've got links below for these. Once again, no kickbacks. I don't get anything. I've had quite a few people get these off of me. You actually have 3 AC outlets. You actually have solar panel in. With the Anderson connectors, you have DC in using the OCMO, which I love these. I have a lot of different type of solar panels, huge and small. Suitcase 200 watts, suitcase 100 watts, gigantic. Even got 2 of them here and one up at the cabin, 320 watt solar panels for an emergency. Those suckers, there's one right in my hallway there. It's about 6 feet by 4 feet wide, the 320 watt solar panels, huge and heavy. I like to show you these over here, which you actually get with a kit on these OCMOs. You have 2 USB ports and a USB-C port, and of course you have a regular cigarette lighter out. Power on-off switch here. Very, very simple, 2 carry handles. And I love my OCMO power station. I have the larger one, which is 2000 watts, which looks exactly like this. I'm going down to my cabin tomorrow, and I'm taking this with me. I always take my 1000, which is all I need for the weekend. I'm only going to be staying for 1 day. I'm going to do some work in my cabin, and I need this. But the 2000 watt, which twice the amp hours, is about this much taller than the 1000 watt, but it looks exactly identical. Same input outputs on the front, and if you actually get it as a kit instead of just the power station, because you can use off-brand solar panels for this, like Renogy panels, which have Renogy panels which actually are able to plug into the front of this using an Anderson power pole connector. But here's the 100 watt, 200 watts max input on these. So I can't use the 320 watt solar panel on the input on my OCMO, but these are ultra lightweight 100 watt OCMO power stations. Solar panels. They actually have kickstand feet for actually propping themselves up. When you open them up here, which I'm not going to do due to limited space, but here you can see the size of them, and there's 50 watts on either interior side, which I'm going to back up here a little bit, and you can see, I think everybody knows what a solar panel looks like, and here you can see 50 watts on one side, 50 watts on the other. Also too, just using, they're magnetically attached right up here at the handle. These are incredibly lightweight actually. Up here in the pack there is there's the cabling. It comes with auxiliary cabling for using with a different power source like lead acid batteries. But also too, if you want to just use the solar panel for charging up your cell phone or other USB device, there is a little black porta back here with USB-C and USB 2 connector for charging up just your cell phone. So if you had one of these in your truck, and I actually have 3 of these, your vehicle doesn't have to be a truck, obviously. I have one of these in my truck. In case of an emergency, just set this on the bed of my truck. I can actually charge up any of my USB-C for emergency portable devices. And you can actually get this as a kit, either just standalone 1000 watt or standalone 2000 watt, or also too as a kit 1000 watt with 2 of these, for making a total of 200 watts input into the OCMO 1000, or a total of 200 watts input into the OCMO 2000. The 2000, like I said, looks exactly like this, except about 7 inches taller roughly, but the input and outputs are identical. And I use these at my cabin. This is the perfect emergency device. My buddy, who's tighter than the bark on a tree, even though he has a lot of money, when he saw mine, he loved it so much he got one, and then after using it, he liked it so much. True story, the guy is really tight. He bought another one. He keeps one for his truck and one for his house for emergencies when the power goes out. In Florida, and I used to live in Florida, I still have a home in Florida. You know, the power is always going out depending on where you live out in Florida, and just for emergencies, for charging up you're like your O2 generator if you need it, which is a necessary medical device for some people. And charging up, people think of charging their cell phones. Yeah, that's fine. What about You know, if cell networks go down, I charge up my Baofeng 2-meter 440 handheld radios with this, with the little charging brick for my HT handheld transceiver units. Also, too, very importantly, I could do it right now, but I don't want to turn it on, plug it in, and blah, 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 do all that. I use this religiously in my cabin because these are really low power consumption LED lights, which are so wonderful. You just hold it down and the light scales up and down to lowest to highest power setting. And nice even steps. And you plug this in the front of here. You can plug in two in the front of here. Turn it on, let it rip. You could go for a long time with this. And in the daytime, you know, two of your 100 watt solar panels to charge up the Akmo, and at night charge up your laptop, turn on your lights, you power up a low power consumption microwave, you can power up a mini fridge, your blender. And they're not really roughing it if you need a blender for your if you need a blender. You know what I'm talking about. You know, you're not going to power up you know, a major power sucking air conditioner with one of these. They're not actually made for that. No, they're not. They're for necessary power consumption needs, but not for, you know, powering up like a serious heater or a serious air conditioner. Some people don't understand, you know, the power requirements of some devices. They just think they're going to, like, plug in the hairdryer and the air conditioner on a power station, and they're like, why doesn't it work? Well, none of those power stations made by anybody are designed to do that. That's just ridiculous. You need a power station like a Generac, something the size of a Volkswagen. You know, when you start powering up high power consumption devices like heating and air conditioning, you know, power stations are not made for that. These are made for emergency and necessary items, and I get by fine doing everything. My power tools, charging up my DeWalt batteries for my illumination, charging up my cell phone, charging up my laptop. Basically everything we generally use. Lighting all day long. I use these lightings since they're such low power consumption. I really stand by these, but I really love the Akmo Power Station. The reason why is they're better built, and they're actually far less expensive than the competition. They have the exact same amp hour batteries, lithium hybrid. It can be lithium ion batteries. These actually have a different discharge profile, and they actually, if you take care of them correct, you actually have to know how to take care of lithium batteries. Last longer than traditional lithium ions, which also too suffer from fast depletion and low depletion. And people do that a lot. And I used to do tech support for Apple. It's like, I know why your battery died. You do, you know, fast, deep depletion of your lithium, and you wonder why it doesn't cycle properly anymore. So everybody just needs like 3 pointers on how to take care of lithiums, which applies to all lithiums, whether that's lithium ion or lithium hybrid, like these are. Same lithiums, and these are the same lithiums that go into Tesla and most other electric cars, battery-powered cars. So anyway, check out the links below. I get no kickbacks whatsoever. And by the way, of all the solar panels I've got, and I got a lot of solar panels, I love these. They're so lightweight. They're such low profile. Look how thin this is. At 100 watts, it's really, really thin. What is the weight on these? Something like 6 pounds or something like that. I forget what the exact weight is. They're nothing. And they magnetically close, and they have a great carry handle. And you only need one of these solar panels for charging up your USB devices like your MacBook or your iPhone. Even if you don't have, you know, an Android device. Okay. Your Windows laptop. I don't use Windows machines anymore. Okay, as soon as you mention a Mac product, someone will roll their eyes and, you know, tell you how disgusted they are with you that you own a Mac. I would never own a Mac. Like, well, who cares? Whatever you own, right? Laptop's a laptop. Lithium-ion batteries inside, so. Anyway, I'm taking this. I'm going to stick it in my truck. I'm going to go down to the cabin tomorrow and do some work on my cabin. And I love having a portable power station. Actually, for many, 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 many years, literally, I always wanted portable power station. There are many reasons why. I don't know. I should have had one before now. My power station is exactly like my gigantic, super expensive leather sewing machines. The only thing I hate about them, my leather sewing machines, which you can't see, and my power station is that I wished I'd gotten them earlier in life because they're so useful, so handy. And if this sounds like a commercial, I apologize. I actually really believe in preaching about things and talking well about things that I actually really like, and makes life easier, and also too is emergency device. And down in my cabin where I have no power, or if you have a power outage, it's so useful. Everybody can recharge their phones if the power goes out for a few days, recharge their laptops, stay in communication with other people for lighting in the middle of the night. It ain't going to power your air conditioner to heat your, two-story house up. And they're not designed for that, okay? So if you have those delusions, then remove them from your mind now. They are not made for that type of usage, okay? Not for heating and air conditioning and plugging your blow dryer. They're not made for that. Actually, you can plug your blow dryer in. Actually, the way my buddy tested his Akimo right before he purchased another one is that he gave it a stress test and plugged in a blow dryer and timed it and checked how much the battery went down over X period of time with the blow dryer on full blast. I don't know. There's other ways to test, but he wanted to do a deep. So yeah, you actually can plug a blow dryer in, but it's gonna deplete the battery. Not super quickly, but they're not made for those ultra high power consumption devices. For obvious reasons. That's what a gigantic Volkswagen-sized Generac is for. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I gotta get ready to go down to the cabin tomorrow, and see you later. Peace out! The links are below for this. Once again, I get no kickbacks at all. Okay? Thank you.
Goodbye.